Hello, everyone. Here we are back as promised, and we are broadcasting on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel, Islam, Islam and Mosque in English. I'll just make sure that we are online. It looks that we have a problem with the Facebook. If you bear with me, guys, just for a minute, I'll see if I can do something about it. I'm sorry for this technical matter. Uh, try to fix it. Okay, that should be ready. Let's have a look. You can't see it. So we'll just try to share the link from the YouTube. I apologize, technical issue. Um, that wasn't expected. I hope that will fix the matter. Okay, it looks that we are having trouble on Facebook. For some reason, it's not going live. Okay, let's force it. Okay, it says you are live now. Okay, let's see. Can't see it. I apologize, guys. Yeah, I think now we are live on Facebook too. Okay, so we are back talking about a very sensitive subject in Islam. About we are asking the question if Prophet Muhammad has killed children Jews or not. We are happy for people to join us if someone wants to go live with us, but probably we may not sit inside the studio for a while till we finish the first part. So I'll try now to share the link. I guess the link now is shared. You just need to click on the StreamYard link and go online with us. You don't need to log on. There's no login. You just go live. All right, so let's start. So has Prophet Muhammad killed children? Yes, he did. So the story is very famous in the Islamic history, which is uh, the events happened after one of the wars between the Muslims in Al-Madina and Quraysh, which was the tribe, the original tribe Muhammad came from. So Muhammad fought three major times against Quraysh. The first one was the Badr, he won. The second one was Uhud, he lost. And the third one was Al-Khandaq, which means trench. So what happened in this event? Here I would like to show the map of Al-Madina. So as you can see, Al-Madina, it has three mountains around it, plus the mountain of Uhud, which is outside. So it shows you here where how the Muslims were attacking. This blue line is the trench the Muslim created before the war starts, and to prevent the non-Muslims from entering Al-Madina, which was, as you know, maybe it was named Yathrib. So Al-Madina means the city. And it was named only after Muhammad and his friends entered that town after he escaped Quraysh from Mecca. So the square, of course, it's written in Arabic. I did not have the chance to make it in English. This yellow square between two mountains here where the Jew of Bani Qurayza. Bani Qurayza means the tribe of Qurayza. Qurayza is a name. So here where the Jew were actually living. So they had a district, let's say, or the tribe was living in that part between two mountains. Now, Muhammad won the war because the non-Muslims could not cross the trench. And then they had diseases, and they were sick, they had run out of water, out of food, and then they retreated back to Mecca. After that, he needed money and he needed the houses of the Jew because the Jew were rich. So he blamed them that they betrayed them and they were helping the non-Muslims. While if you look at the map, everyone would realize that if they really wanted to allow the non-Muslim or to help them, they would just let them go through their territory. But that didn't happen. So actually, they were neutral, and there was no evidence of whatsoever in the Islamic history that actually the Jew of Bani Qurayza betrayed Muhammad. However, he won the war and then he turned on them. So the evidence in Quran, there is one evidence in Quran, which is the verse number 33, the verse number 26 in Al-Ahzab. Al-Ahzab is the section number 33, and from verse 26 to 27. So there is a total agreement that this verse, two verses, were about the fight against Bani Qurayza. And so here what God, of course, says, وَأَنزَلَ الَّذِينَ ظَاهَرُوهُم مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ مِنْ صَيَاصِيهِمْ, which means that God brought those from the people who had the book or Jew from their locations or their high position, whatever you say, صياصيهم means that from their location. وَقَذَفَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الرُّعْبَ فَرِيقًا تَقْتُلُونَ وَتَأْسُرُونَ فَرِيقًا. And God threw the fear in their hearts and made you kill some and arrest some. وأورثكم أرضهم وديارهم وأموالهم. So, and God gave you their lands and money and everything. So God here is saying in Quran that that was a victory from God, and God actually made the Muslims beat the Jew in that battle, whatever, and God helped bringing those or drop or removing those Jews from their position and gifted their lands and money and everything to the Muslims. Of course, here the history in detail says that there was actually no battle. So the Jew were unarmed and they surrendered. And Muhammad and his friends, they assigned one man to decide what to do with them. So the decision was to kill every adult, and to take women and children as slaves. Now, here is the question. Who is the adult? Who was the adult? Who was considered as adults? So there is a very famous story about from one of the survivors. This survivor was Atiyya al-Quradi. Atiyya means that's his name. Al-Quradi means the one from Qurayza. So what Atiyya al-Quradi said that the definition of being an adult or not was the existence of pubic hair. The existence of a pubic hair, which means even a boy who's 9 or 10, if he has little bit of pubic hair, would be treated as an adult. He killed, Muhammad and his people killed not less than 800 males from that Jew tribe, and he killed every one of those children who had pubic hair. Now, someone could argue, say, maybe the story is not correct. Maybe, there is only one witness, blah, blah. Well, okay, let's go forward because there were consequences. Now, who's the adult in Islam? So here there is another speech for Muhammad, that who's al-mukallaf, or who's responsible. So what he says, what Muhammad said, that 3 people are excused. Let's say they don't pray, they don't, do stuff, they don't pray for God, they don't follow the religion. So he excused 3 people: the sleeping people till he wakes up, and the boy, till he, what's the name of, till he, uh, how to say it in English? I'm sorry, I had to prepare that. Till he has, yeah, till he wet dream, which means ejaculate while asleep. So have a dream, sexual dream, and then he ejaculates. So this is a sign of puberty. And the third one is the crazy till his mind comes back to him. So, but when you talk about a child and you determine the puberty as cut line, how would you know that this child actually ejaculated or not? So what he was trying to say, that if there is any signs of puberty, and then this child, a boy, becomes responsible or becomes an adult, which means, again, could be 9, could be 10, 12, 13, whatever. Otherwise, if you want to have a cut line, and then it's 15 years old. But if there is any signs that puberty happened 15 years old, and then that's it, this boy is considered as an adult and responsible. He becomes responsible. So what are the consequences of that? That's a disaster, actually, because you are treating children like adults. For example, in prayer. So here the Prophet says, order your children to pray while they are 7 years old, and beat them when they are 10, and separate them in sleeping. So you cannot allow a boy and girl to sleep together in the same bed if one of them reached 10 years old. So if you have a boy who's 10 and you have a girl who's 16 or 17, they cannot sleep in the same bed. And even if you have a boy who's 10 and a girl who's 3 or 4, you cannot let them sleep in the same bed, because if Satan or devil comes in, and then you could be in trouble. So that's actually what this subject is about. So the evidence that this actually happened, that it was applied, so it was applied in real life, that it was applied on determining who's adult and who's not. So that's our subject today. And if someone wants to ask a question, we don't have anyone online at the moment. Obviously, people are not coming live to our videos, but I can see that there were too many too many too many clicks on the videos. And we will be happy to answer questions if someone wants to have more information about the subject. Uh, you can you can maybe, if you like to Google it, you can actually do that and make sure about this story. Yes, Muhammad, the Prophet, killed children based on the existence of pubic hair. That's what he did, and that's a very well-known story. And those were Jew children, and it was all about uh, actually capturing their lands, their homes, take their money, take their children slaves, take their women slaves. And actually, the stories say that he traded those women, some of those women, he traded them for weapons by giving them to pagan people. So he traded believers or people of the book, which were the Jew, he traded them for weapons by giving them to pagan people as slaves. So that's what he did, and that's a very well known story in the Islamic history. So we are, unfortunately, my colleague actually lost connection. We are coming back. Uh, we are coming back after, I guess, about 11 hours, which will be the 3 p.m. in New York and Toronto, Canada, and we will have another go live. Uh, if someone like to join, we will be there. Thank you for watching, and I hope you support the channels, support the Facebook channels. We are not after money. We are just after explaining those concerns, which really concerns us as people who left religions and believe that this religion is really a real danger. And people who believe in it can become very bad people, can convert to be really bad people at any stage of their lives if they have the opportunity to do so. So I will wait a bit. I'm hoping that my friend can come back to have a bit of chat. Okay, I'll send him a message. Obviously, he had a problem with the power. I'm trying to bring him back on mobile. So if someone, actually, we have some people watching. If someone wants to ask a question, you can type the question, or you can actually log on with me. You don't need to show your face. I will put the link again for the StreamYard if someone wants to click on it and come to discuss the subject. Mm. We were hoping that we can have open discussion with someone, but it looks like no one wants to challenge. I'll just wait for 2 minutes for BB to come. If he can't come, then I will shut down. If you like to ask any question, feel free to type your question in the comment on Facebook or on YouTube. Well, trouble video. We couldn't log on properly. We started having trouble from the beginning. We can't control that when it's live, unfortunately. If we are recording, we would just restart recording. So any question from people on live? All right, so it looks that my friend is unable to come back. Unfortunately, we have to close. There are no questions. People are not interested. I hope you come back and watch this video as you did in the previous videos. Actually, I was surprised that each video took more than 200 watches or views without any promotion. So it might be that the timing is not suitable for many countries. We are trying to fit in to suit Europe and United States in two occasions. However, thank you. Thank you if you watched this video, and I hope you support the channel by liking, sharing, subscribing, and we will be back, I hope, in 2 or 3 weeks with a new subject. And as I said, we'll be back again at 3 p.m. New York and Toronto time, which is after less than 11 hours. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to close down. Okay. So for the guest who's trying, yes, we have a guest. You need to use what is the software is telling me that you need to use headphone. I will put you on stage, but you need to use headphone. It looks that you have a problem with headphone.
No, I don't have a problem. I am using the headphone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yes. How did you diagnose my headphone problem? I never had that before.
Well, no, the software is telling me, no, that's all. The software is telling me that your guest is having an issue with the headset. Anyhow, forget about it.
Okay, okay. Never mind.
So, what would
I
you
just
like to
joined.
talk about?
Uh, this particular subject that you're talking about, I would like to talk something about different, if I may. Is that okay with you?
Well, if I can, because I prepared this one, but I'm happy to listen to any
Yes.
question you want to ask.
Sure. Yes. My question is: there is a few ayat in the Quran which is praising Bani Israel. Can I quote one?
Yeah.
You're familiar with
Yes.
Arabic. Ya
Yes.
Bani
That's
Israel,
yeah.
ya
Yeah.
Israel, اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأني فضلتكم على العالمين. There is no
Mhm.
single ayat like this which is giving Muslims this kind of praise and this kind of what you call honor. And this there are about five or six different ayats like this, which is praising the Jews. Why is Muslim God not praising the Muslims and the Christians similar to the way he's praising the Jews?
Okay, if I may ask, of course, you don't need to disclose your identity.
Mm.
Uh, are you from Yemen originally?
No.
You speak Arabic?
شوية أكلم عربي أيوة, but not much as you. I'm not a native Arabic speaker.
Yeah, because okay, so you're not natively Arabic speaking, but you can
No.
read it.
Not only I can read it, but I used to understand a lot. But due to lack of interaction with the
Okay.
Muslims and the imams,
Yeah,
I've
you
lost all.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
that's good
is
because
my
you have very good actually. You have very good accent.
oh yes, yes, because
All
I
right,
used to be
look,
part of.
simply, yeah, simply, if you allow me, you need to understand the whole story of Islam if you want to understand the relation between Islam and Judaism.
Mm,
Probably you know that Muhammad, when he was born in Mecca, according to the Islamic story, and
mhm.
he started calling people to join his new religion when he was 40 years old. At that
Yeah.
time, he was in Mecca. So he spent 13 years in Mecca. Only 93 people believed him. When he
Yes.
uh, when he gave up, he decided to migrate to Al-Madina. But before he migrated to Al-Madina, he had made an agreement with the thieves and the robbers around Al-Madina to join him so he could fight his own tribe back. So when he moved to Al-Madina, here he changed his language. So when he was in Mecca, he was desperate to convince the Jews to join him, you know. So when he gave up, he changed his language completely. And that's why Quran is actually two parts. Makki Quran, which is very peaceful, and Madani Quran, which is very aggressive. So his love to Jew became hate and big hatred to the point that he wanted to kill every one of them at the end
Yeah.
because they
Can
made
I?
fun of him. Mm,
Sure. Can I speak one little two
mm,
corrections here? When you say
mm.
when he left Makkah after 13 years of failure, he did not leave. He abandoned in the night, like a robber who is going away after failing 13 years as a prophet. And then another point of correction is that all Makki surahs are not peaceful and love. There are countless ayats which says, إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين أولئك هم شر البرية إنما المشركون نجاس عتل بعد ذلك زنيم. These are ayats that are not peaceful. They are hateful ayats
Yeah,
against
but those
supposedly.
Madanis, those from Al
Uh,
Medina, not from Mecca.
are you sure Surah Al-Bayyinah is Madani?
Al Bayina,
Yes, please,
I
if you
can
can
tell
check.
you if you like.
Uh, yes, yes, please, please, because I'm talking in English, which I'm comfortable in. I have
Al
memorized.
Bayina, do you know which number? Al Bayina?
I think probably 96, 97, 98, something like that.
90. Yeah, Al Bayina Madaniya, 98.
Oh, I see, I see.
Madaniya.
Oh,
Mm.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
And
look,
how about the
in Mecca, things like Surah Maryam, you
Mhm,
know, لكم دينكم ولي
mhm.
things like الصابئون والنصارى فهم لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون things like that. So in general, rarely in Mecca, rarely any aggressiveness, to be honest, very rarely. He might say kafirun, or those when he says that those whom had their heart sealed by God. ختم الله على قلوبهم.
وعلى
So
سمعهم وعلى
you may
أبصارهم.
see
Yeah.
some verses half, but
Mm,
not actually like kill and things like that. No.
mm. I see. Okay, okay. Thank you for that. I'll have to look
Yeah,
carefully. Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't
Uh,
studied for a long time, so I'm quite rusty with some of the references. But anyway, uh,
yeah, but
I
what
can
I would
come.
like to tell you, because what we know from our, knowledge in Arabic, that Muhammad most probably was one of the Nasara, those who were the Jew who converted to Christianity.
Mhm,
So those they were not Christians. They said that most Muslim thinks and Nasara those
mhm,
were Christians. No, they were not Christians because church at that time was separated between Eastern and Western. The Western church, which followed the Greek and the Romans, believed that
mhm,
Jesus was a God and the Son of God, and they
mhm,
believed in the God and the Son and the Holy Spirit, while the Eastern church did not. So those followed the Father Nestorius.
mhm,
Those believe that Jesus was just a prophet like any one of Bani Israel prophet, and he was not God.
mhm,
So he did not bring something new, to people at that time, because all Christians, let's say, or all Nasara, they got it. They knew, and the Islamic history confessed that his first wife Khadija was Christian,
mhm,
and her cousin Waraqa ibn Nawfal was the priest of Mecca.
mhm,
And Waraqa ibn Nawfal was the priest or was the one who attended the wedding. And he did not marry any other woman while he was married to Khadija.
mhm.
So he was behaving like any Christian or any Nasrani.
Right.
Got it? So here,
Yeah, yeah.
when the history tells you that when Waraqa ibn Nawfal died, he
Mhm,
tried to commit suicide
mhm. Okay.
because for
I
three
see.
years he couldn't create any Quran.
Right.
So he was
Yes.
learning the Mecca Quran, which was a sort of information coming from Torah in the first place. So here, where he talks about Moses, uh, about Joseph, and how Joseph
Mhm,
went to Egypt, and how the relation with the wife of Pharaoh, and all that's the story from Torah. So he was actually bringing those stories from the Jewish stories.
mhm,
But the Jews were very clever. They were making fun of him.
mhm,
For example, give you an example. When he came to Al-Madina, of course, those thieves and robbers, and I knew that he ran away in the middle of the night and he put Ali ibn Abi Talib in his bed. I didn't just mention it. I knew that piece of information. So he ran away at night and put Ali ibn Abi Talib in his bed. And the story said that they tried to kill him, but they tried to kill him only when they realized that he had an agreement with the thieves and the robbers, which were those were named Sa'alik in Arabic. So when he went to Al Madina, he found the Jews celebrating Ashura. So he asked, "What is this?" So he asked the Jews. The Jews, because they wanted to trick him, they told him this is a very great day, the day when God gave victory to Moses against Pharaoh. So he said, "Well, we are more deserving Moses, so we will celebrate it." Now, if you
mhm,
ask any Muslim about what was the day of Ashura, he will tell you, or she will tell you, that that was the day where Moses beated Pharaoh with the help of God. But actually, it was not. So they tricked him. Until now, the Muslims believe the wrong idea, but if you ask any Jews, he will laugh at them. He said, no, they are stupid. That wasn't Ashura. Ashura is something else.
Ashura is Yom Kippur, isn't it?
I'm not sure if it's Kippur. I'm not sure. I have to check actually. See, I also forget, look, Islam is a very, very big subject. Yeah, but it wasn't. There was nothing like that in Judaism. They don't celebrate this day. So they were
No.
tricking him all the time. And he was actually swallowing the bait easily because he didn't know. He was
Yeah.
illiterate. He couldn't read. So he was just listening to what people tell him, and then he creates, stories from his head.
You know, you're so interesting. You keep mentioning the word Al-Madina. You know how silly the name Madina. Madina in Arabic means city or the town or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
but it's
it,
Al-Madina Al-Munawwara. I tell you what's
yeah,
that's Al-Madina Al-Munawwara, which is the enlightened city.
enlightened city.
So
Yeah,
yes, enlightened.
but previous to that, why
So
Muhammad had to
mm,
change the name when the name was already there as Yathrib? So, and
well,
what was the need? I mean, there was no need for it. And city of light, it was not city of light, it was a city of darkness. The way Madani Suras went on to capture Muhammad.
the whole story is in doubt now. Look, this is a very difficult area, to discuss because with the new findings now, uh, I can reassure you that the whole story about Muhammad, A to Z, might be fake.
Yeah, sorry, brother.
So there
Sorry,
is no evidence. There is no
brother. One.
evidence. There is no archaeological or historical evidence of whatsoever that he ever existed.
Hmm. Brother, if I may come back to this word Munawwara. Munir means borrowed
Mm,
lights, and it comes from the word Nur. Nur, Munir, and
mm,
then Munawwara. So
yeah,
Munawwara is sort of a sort of borrowed light. So there is no
yeah.
original light. He's borrowing light from other sources and calling it city of lights.
Well, because that's probably that's a word was used at that time that it was they were living in darkness, and then when he brought Islam to them, they he brought the light, and now we joke about it because according to the Islamic story, that when people met him entering Al-Madina, they said the poetry. They were singing. So the poetry says, طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع. What is the remaining? طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع. Uh, I forgot. So it says, the song says, the full moon appeared from ثنيات الوداع, which is an area between two mountains. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And and now when we compare, for example, if you go on Facebook, on any Arabic Facebook, when they make fun of it, they put photos of Afghanistan in the early 70s where women were free, were going to university, were employed, they were wearing dresses like in Europe, you know? So they say this is Afghanistan when they were in darkness, and this is now Afghanistan after the God, brought the full moon on them.
Mhm.
So we make fun about it now, when you compare. In Egypt, for example, if you go to the 50s in Egypt, girls were going to universities, they were having minijib, they were very open-minded, and there was no sexual harassment of whatsoever.
The similar can be said of Iran at that time under Shah, and
Yeah,
also Pakistan to some extent.
yeah. So we make fun of it always in Arabic that this is how they were. Then the full moon shined on them.
Mhm.
So that's actually coming from the name of Al-Madina Al-Munawwara.
Mhm.
So it's a subject of actually making fun of it now.
Sure. Another subject you can make fun of the very first surah, which says "Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq." But it says read. But should it not be yatlu or ikarriru? In order to read, you have to have a document or a book in front of you. Then you can say to somebody, read. But appropriate word should have been yatlu when recite. You can recite from memory or something that you have memorized earlier, or yukarriru. You can repeat after me. Are you familiar now?
Exactly. Look, Quran, when it comes to Arabic, Quran is the worst book ever written in Arabic. You
It's
won't
an
believe
insult to
the grammar
literature.
mistakes.
Yes,
You
that's
you
what I
n-
said.
exactly exactly
It's,
in Arabic literature exactly.
yes.
You won't believe how bad the language in it. You won't
I
believe.
as a I as a foreigner who studied some Arabic can find it an insult. So I can imagine how you would laugh at this book.
Yeah, absolutely. For example, I will give you an example. Can you say in English? If you say in English, I love you too much and very much.
No,
How does it sound?
stupid. Elementary,
Stupid.
elementary child. Yes,
Elementary school child would not make this mistake, correct?
yes. If he's
While what
already
Quran
with you,
says,
yeah. No.
yeah, what Quran
أحب
says, لو
أحب
لو
الكثير.
شاء ربك
Yes.
لآمن من في الأرض كلهم جميعا وكلهم and جميعا all of them and all of them.
Hmm. Yes.
So if your God wish, he would make everyone and all believe in him. Is that good
No.
language? That's
No. No.
rubbish.
And you know why? Even Muhammad's God realized this, that Muhammad is hopeless at writing this or reading or memorizing. That's why in one of the ayat says, فَإِن كُنْتَ فِي شَكٍّ مِّمَّا إِلَيْكَ فَاسْأَلِ الَّذِينَ يَقْرَؤُونَ الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. I'm sure you can translate that, where Muhammad was having doubts
Yes.
or
Yeah.
some sort of thing, then and he was told by God to go to those people who have been given the scripture before. So if
Yes.
Muhammad's God is respecting the people who are already knowledgeable, then why not him and his followers?
Because at that time he was begging the Jews and the Nasara, who were the Christians, the Eastern Christians, to follow him. So he was showing lots of respect. Look,
Hmm.
one of the biggest disaster now with the fight in Gaza, many now came up with the fact that the Quran actually gave Palestine to the Jew.
Hmm.
Do you know that?
No, can you recite the ayat, please?
Okay. I will get it for you if you bear with me.
Sure, sure.
I'm pretty sure it's Al-Ma'idah. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I cannot share it online because of the copyrights. We could have the video actually canceled if we do that. Um, okay, hold on with me. I will get it for you. It's Al-Ma'idah number 20.
Even the name Maida is
Uh,
a stupid name. It did not
yeah,
have to be
the
Ma.
the dining table.
Yes, or the table spread.
Yeah, and the cow.
Yes, there was no dining
Okay, where
table
is
during Muhammad's time. This is a copy from the Christians and the Jews who were civilized and they were eating from dining tables, while Muhammad's people were eating from the floor, sitting on the floor.
yes, exactly. It didn't have a table because it says that there was a table of food came from sky. So look,
Yes.
if you go to Al-Ma'idah number 20, I think, yes, uh, number 20, وَإِذَا قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ, when Moses says to his people, يَا قَوْمُ اذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ, confess or remember the God mercy or gifts on you, that إذ جعل فيكم أنبياء, So he made prophets in you. وَجَعَلَكُمْ مُلُوكًا. And he made you kings.
Mhm.
وآتاكم ما لم يؤت أحدا من العالمين. And he gave you what he never gave to anyone from other people or the world.
Mhm.
Now the one next, يا قوم ادخلوا الأرض المقدسة التي كتب الله لكم.
Mhm.
Enter the holy lands which God wrote for you. Wrote, written. This land, this holy land is written. So just like when you have, promises written in your name, so you cannot change it.
Mhm.
ولا ترتدوا على أدباركم. And don't turn back. فتنقلبوا خاسرين. So you become losers. So you must enter this holy land which God gave to you.
Mhm.
قالوا يا موسى, O Moses, إن فيها قوما جبارين. This land has very strong people or mighty people. وإن لن ندخلها حتى يخرجوا منها. We will not enter this holy land till they leave it. فإن يخرجوا منها فإنا داخلون. So if they go out of it, we will enter it. So what is the holy land which God is telling Moses to enter?
Mhm.
Tell me.
No,
Is it in
it is
China or South Africa?
no, no. It is pointing towards Jerusalem and Israel,
Exactly.
what we know now as Israel. Yes.
Not only that, the explainers like At-Tabari, like Ibn Kathir, like Al-Baghawi, which is the very first explainer of Quran, he said it's from the Euphrates in Syria till Al-Arish in Egypt.
Mhm.
That's
But
how
that
they
is
understood it.
but that is his subjective interpretation or tafsir. That is his way of
Yeah, but
explaining it. Muhammad
yeah,
or
but
his God
they
didn't
agreed
explain.
on it. No, no, there were few explainers. They agreed that actually not only Palestine, actually it's from Nile to Euphrates, because in other place he says that they should enter Egypt again.
Mm.
I can't find it now. Maybe I have to search for it. So
It's okay.
whatever, whatever, at the minimum, it's Palestine.
Yes. No,
And
that
now
is his.
many Arabic, yes, many Arabic YouTubers now are coming up with this, that they say, well, guys, Quran has given Palestine to the Jew.
Mm. Well, it was already Jewish land because remember in Surah Al-Isra, he says, "من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى." Remember that ayat where he went from Mecca to Jerusalem. From there, he descended to somewhere.
Okay,
Uh,
that's, you are opening another subject. If you go to that Surah Al-Isra, okay,
yes.
what number is Al-Isra? Just let me find it. Here it is, number 17.
Yes. من
سبحان
المسجد
الذي
الحرام.
أسرى بعبده
Yes, yeah, that's the one.
ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى
Mhm.
الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. Okay?
At that time,
Now,
when uh, Muhammad did this or his follower did this in order to later on to capture Jerusalem, which was successful and prosperous.
okay, this verse is very, very, very problematic.
Thank you for agreeing, and we can spend a whole day in this ayat. That's how much we can get
Yeah,
into it.
I tell you why. The whole surah talks about Moses. Okay, the whole surah, if you read the surah till the end, it talks
Mm,
about Moses. Now, when it comes to rhyming, if you stop at the word Laylan
mm,
and don't continue من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى.
mm,
So let's explain it so people who don't know Arabic know what we are talking about. Here it says, سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا. Uh, God is great who took his slave at night من
mm.
المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى, from the Haram Masjid in Mecca to Al Masjid Al Aqsa, which is now in Jerusalem.
If I can just, brother, with due respect, would you mind if I stop you briefly every now and then? This is another problem. Masjid al-Aqsa, when there was no masjid there and there were no one doing sujood. So how
I'm
did that
coming to
become
you.
Masjid al-Aqsa?
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
Okay,
Just
okay,
don't. Okay, just I want to give you the problems one by one, but let's explain to the non-Arabic speaking people.
sure,
So it
sure.
says here that God was great who took his slave, which is Muhammad, from the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca to the Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, and we showed him how great we are because God is the knowledgeable or something like that. And the Muslim believes that Muhammad flew on a flying donkey or mule,
Mm,
actually, female mule. He flew from Mecca to Jerusalem and from Jerusalem to God and in the seventh sky. And he talked to God, and here where he learned about prayers.
mm,
So problem number one, as you said, Al Masjid Al Aqsa, which is now on the Temple Mountain, was built 62 or 63 years after the death of Muhammad.
mm,
So the whole mosque did not exist.
mhm,
While at that time there was a Masjid Aqsa, which is the farthest or the further mosque. That's
mhm.
Al Aqsa means the far one.
Yes.
There was a mosque there in an area named Al Jarana.
Mm,
And Al Jarana till now exists, near Al-Madina, I guess. So there was a near mosque and a far mosque.
mm.
Okay. So that was named Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa in Muhammad's time. Now,
Yeah,
the biggest problem in this, I tell you what it is.
sorry,
If
brother.
you
Brother, what?
read,
If you,
mm,
brother, with respect, the place you mentioned,
mm,
Jarada, this is the Makki Surah in the chronological order of revelation. This is number 66 or 65, but this is now as number 17 in the current Quran we have. So at that time, the only so-called masjid was the Makkah, and that is even that you cannot call it masjid because this little place was shared by idol worshippers and Muhammad and his follower. So you cannot
yeah,
call
that's a
a
good
place
point.
masjid.
Yeah,
Yes, you
let
cannot call
me, yeah.
you cannot call a masjid when you're sharing a place between the two. So Masjid al-Haram still doesn't exist when Masjid al-Aqsa still doesn't exist. You see how
Yeah,
I
uh,
dissect
yeah.
Quran one by one
I will tell
historically.
you, I will tell you where, yes, you're right. Al-Jarana is to the northern of Mecca.
Mhm.
Al-Jarana is to the northern of Mecca, actually.
Yes,
So,
but i- regardless where
yeah,
it
yeah,
is,
I'm
but
coming to you. Look, I will
still
explain it. Just please give me
okay.
time. I
Sure.
will explain everything to you. I know what you mean, but I will tell you why this has happened. Just
Okay.
let me explain to you. Please give me 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry, but I'm very
So now,
anxious
if
about.
you go back, yeah, if you
Yeah.
go back to the verse in Arabic, سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا. If you stop here, if you don't
Mhm.
continue and you jump to the second one, what does it say? وآتينا موسى الكتاب وجعلناه هدى لبني إسرائيل ألا تتخذوا من دوني وكيلا. If you go to number 3, ذرية من حملنا مع نوح إنه كان عبدا شكورا. وقضينا إلى بني إسرائيل في الكتاب لتفسدن في الأرض مرتين ولتعلن علوا كبيرا. So the rhyming make you stop at ليلا. So from after ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى, that was inserted later
Mhm.
on this verse. It has nothing to do with it. Got it?
Yes, yes.
So when it comes to the music in Quran, you have to read سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا وآتينا موسى الكتاب. If you continue the verse to the end, the rhyming is broken. So
I
what is the explanation of that? You need to understand the Arabic history. Now you took me to a very complex subject. When Bani
yes, I was
Umayyah
just
captured the power, hmm, sorry, you have a question? Hello? Hello, do you hear me? Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. Ex-Muslim? Hello? Okay. I'm not sure what happened. I can't hear you at all. Hello? Sorry. Hello? Hello, do you hear me? Hello? Okay, we lost connection with ex-Muslims. I hope he comes back. However, this subject is really very complex. Uh, what is believed in the recent history or in the recent studies about what happened in that period of time, because the Bani Umayyah, when they captured the power in Damascus, nearly 40 or 45 years after the death of Muhammad, they had too much trouble in Mecca. So, like Abu Dharr al-Ghafari, like what's his name, the Abdullah ibn Zubayr, and those actually created a new kingdom in Mecca while they were controlling Damascus area. So they built Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, or the further mosque, which is currently now on the uh, Temple Mountain, They built it to compete with Mecca. And to do that, they inserted this extra sentence in the first verse of Al-Isra, and they named it Al-Isra, while Isra means walking at night. So سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا وآتينا موسى الكتاب. So he's talking about Moses. The Quran doesn't not talking about flying at night from area to area. So that was added probably 60 years after Muhammad died. It was added to the Quran to legislate the control of Muslims on Jerusalem against the Jew. So that doesn't make any sense to have it inserted in that part of the Quran. However, if I hope the ex-Muslims, if you can go back and watch, just this might answer your question. Anyhow, I have to leave. I've been for 1 hour, and as I said, I still have to come back after 10 hours in the for the United States session, and it's gonna be at 3 p.m. New York and Toronto times. Thank you all for listening, and that was interesting actually to find someone who's really very. I liked his the way he is reading. Actually, he has very good Arabic. That's surprising. Arabic is a very difficult language. Although that, of course, as a non-natively Arabic speaking person, he would not know the details. Anyhow, we'll be back and hopefully we will be back in more hot subjects to discuss. And I wish, just like what ex-Muslims did and joined me and asked question, I wish this is just an open discussion. Uh, uh, to have it as an open discussion about Islam and all the conflicts in Quran and what's happening in our time now. Thank you all. I have to leave. I have to stop the streaming. Thank you all for listening and watching. Bye bye.